Now let us talk about few criticisms of Lewis model. This is also taken from chapter 3 of Todaro and Smith, and this is a very short recording, very small recording. So one of the assumptions of Lewis model is that the faster capital accumulation is, faster is going to be the modern sector's growth, right? And if the modern sector is going to grow faster, it is able to create more jobs. It is able to create more employment, right? So this is what Lewis has assumed, and this is the premise on which the entire model is resting. But in reality, don't you think the opposite happens? Because when the firms, they earn profits, they will invest somewhere, those profits, but they may also invest in the labor saving technology. So what is labor saving technology? Labor saving technology is which is using less labor to produce more output, right? So what is going to happen is that whatever increase in output which is going to happen, that will go in terms of profits to the capitalist, not as wages to the workers. You understand that? So what Lewis has assumed that when the modern industrial sector is going to expand, it will be using labor from the agricultural sector. But you tell me one thing. Why can't modern industrial sector invest in enhancing its capital or enhancing its output through labor saving technology? It will, or it can. Then the entire model fails, right? So, and it can also happen that the capital is invested abroad. In reality, anything could happen. So he said this, that this was the demand curve now for the labor initially. This was the demand curve for the labor, right? D1, D1. And WM is the wage which was given to the modern industrial sector, which is more than the wage in the agricultural sector. Where MPL is equal to W, this is the point where labor is employed. Now just see how nicely the new demand curve for labor is drawn. New demand curve for labor is drawn. So this is the demand curve for labor, which is, with the capital saving technology. This is after capital accumulation. Which is after capital accumulation. So what is happening is that you're not employing more labor. You're still employing same labor because you're giving this much wage. So earlier, your profits were this much. Now your profits have increased to this thing. But these profits are not going in terms of wages to, as such, to wages or wages to workers or more employment of workers, but going as profits to capitalists. This is the point. So the main point is that you have to draw the new demand curve in such a way which is able to show more output and which is also able to show that you're not employing more labor. And this can only come when you are investing in the labor saving technology, right? That is a first criticism. And this is also called anti-developmental growth. So you are growing, but you're not employing more people, right? Your extra output is going to capitalists in terms of profits, not as wages. Achha, think about it this way, that Lewis has assumed this, that there is a surplus labor in the rural areas. Do you really think in reality there will always be surplus labor in rural areas? Yes, I mean, you can assume this, that there can be surplus labor in some seasons in rural areas, right? That is true. Or in some geographical areas it could be. But in all entire rural areas, you are saying that there will be surplus labor. That is too far-fetched. So that is the next criticism. Then model has assumed that the modern sector wages stay constant until rural surplus labor is exhausted. You assume, you remember, I mean, the model which we have drawn that day. So we said this, till this point, you have used all the surplus labor and after that, wages have to increase, right? But in reality, don't you think what is going to happen is that even before the entire surplus labor is exhausted from the agricultural sector, even before that point, wages will increase. In reality, that would happen. So that is the next criticism. It won't wait for the entire exhaustion of the labor surplus to happen. Entire exhaustion of the surplus labor to happen for wages to increase. Wages will increase even before that Lewis turning point. Then Lewis has assumed that in the modern industrial sector also, there is diminishing marginal productivity of labor. You use more and more labor, the total addition to the output is going to fall. But you tell me one thing, in reality, when the modern industrial sector is going to expand, right, it will have more capital with it. So the productivity of labor can also increase, You give labor more capital, the productivity of labor will increase, yes or no? With specialization, they can produce more, right? They can use more capital. And with more capital, the productivity of labor can also increase. So you said this, that there will always be diminishing marginal productivity of labor. No, not necessarily true. Right? In reality, it could also be increasing. So this is going to change the policy implications completely. That is the next criticism. And the last criticism which the text is talking about is that model is ignoring the role of human capital. So is there no role of education, no role of skills, no role of health in increasing the productivity of labor? All of these are going to play an important role, but you have not incorporated them. You means Lewis has not incorporated these things in the model. Right? So this is the another problem. Of course, the later extensions of the model have incorporated human capital also, but this is what it is. So please read the reading carefully. And I think with this, I have completed Lewis model. We'll start with a new model in the next class. Thank you, Beta.